What's going on, YouTube? This is Boxingwave. Please subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, all that stuff. Shout out to all the people that was here on my live commentary earlier for this Canelo Jaime Munguia card. Okay. First of all, I want to apologize to all of the supporters of the channel for not making a actual breakdown video. Just like I said earlier on the live, very, very busy. No days off this week, and just couldn't get around to making content this week, except for the short video that I did on Ryan Garcia popping on the PADs. But let's talk about this fight briefly. You know, two things could be right at the same time. Okay. And Canelo did enough to secure the win on points, but he also looked a little old to me, and that was one of the key things that I was saying in the live earlier. When I got on live, I did like a brief breakdown of the fight, and I was having a tough time struggling on where to place a bet at. The bet ended up being Canelo by knockout. Watching that fight, I thought Canelo could knock him out, or stop him. But I also thought that, does Canelo really want to stop this guy? Does he really want to stop him? I mean, he's a Mexican star that supports him, and he supports as well. And I just didn't know, if Canelo had the opportunity to stop him at some point, would he really take the opportunity? He did knock him down earlier in the fourth round, later in the fourth round, I'm sorry. But he didn't really seem to want to get the job done. And for the remainder of the fight, I think he won the majority of rounds. I gave Munguia 4 rounds. I gave him the first 3. I gave him the ninth. I think the 11th and 12th, I was pretty much just watching because it was clear to me that Canelo won the fight. But the way I look at the fight was Munguia started out well and he was doing everything he needed to do. I mean, to be honest, if you guys were here on a live commentary, the first 3 rounds was scary rounds. Honestly, it looked like Canelo not only was old, but it looked like I just didn't like his body language. It kind of was giving me Devin Haney vibes against Ryan Garcia. It just seemed like Jaime and his jab and the right hands and hooks that he was landing seemed to be a little too strong. And the way that Canelo was taking them, Canelo was just getting hit by everything. The Danny Jacobs version of Canelo is gone. He's not moving his head anymore like that. So when Jaime was consistently landing clean shots through the guard of Canelo, the high guard of Canelo, it made me worry a little bit. Because all right, I think a couple of us was joking around saying, what if Jaime knocked him down? Or what if Jaime stopped him? It looked bad in the first 2-3 rounds. But Canelo got it together. And once he scored a knockdown in the 4th round, and I think it has to do with Jaime got too comfortable. He was doing so well in the first 3 rounds that he decided to stay in a pocket with Canelo. And he caught an uppercut and went down. And from there on, I gave Canelo the majority of the rounds, And even there was periods and times where Jaime started to rally and push Canelo back. Canelo looked comfortable for the remainder of the fight. His body language is different. He wasn't always fighting out of a high guard. He just seemed confident. He had that swag after that knockdown. So the 4th, 5th, 6th rounds, he's just getting hit, but it didn't seem like anything had any effect on him from that point on. And Canelo did a good job just showing his experience. It was a good fight. I know the scorecards read what they read, but Jaime Munguia had his moments. It's just he didn't seem to really have any effect on Canelo. It didn't seem like he could really hurt Canelo. He started out good. using that jab, controlling the distance at that time, landing the right hands through the guard of Canelo. You know, I mean, he was hitting Canelo a lot early, and he had a lot more power in those punches. But once Canelo got the knockdown and the timing down after that, and the remaining rounds, it didn't really matter. You know, because Jaime, he was taking, you know, even though he's a younger fighter, higher punch output and everything, he just didn't have that same effect. Excuse me. He didn't have that same effect that Canelo did when Canelo landed. You know, when Canelo landed, even though he didn't knock down Jaime again no more than he did in the fourth round, it seemed like whenever Canelo landed a big shot, Jaime had to respect it and step back a little bit and reset himself. So Canelo did it. You know, 175 is different right now because both Morrell and Benavidez moved up. I know Benavidez was there tonight, and I know he was telling people that he was going to go. But at the end of the day, he was never really, it's no point. You know, you're fighting a 175 pounder. You moved up to 175. And the press conferences, it was today. So you had to be there anyway. It's not like you were there specifically for the Canelo fight. You were there for the press conference earlier today, you know? So Canelo did his thing. Again, I still do think he looked a little old. I think he's looking older with every fight. But I also think that he didn't have that killer instinct tonight. I think he did enough to secure the rounds. But I don't think he tried to stop Munguia, you know? I think after the knockdown, I think he was landing some big shots here and there, but I don't think he really sat down and punches like he could. Too much respect. You know, I don't think he wanted to take Jaime's fighting spirit away. Like, yo, I'm gonna beat you, but I ain't gonna destroy you. You know, you are a Mexican fighter. I don't really want to fight Mexican fighters, but since we're here, I want to beat you and show the world that I'm still that dude, but, you know, I ain't want to destroy you. That's the way I look at it. You might disagree, but, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Canelo, and I'm not trying to take anything from Jaime Munguia. But I know what Canelo is capable of, and even though I think he is showing his age, not age as in like he's 33, I mean showing his time as a pro, 18 years in, I think Canelo lacks the killer instinct. I compared him to Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman. Like, Keith Thurman is very good, but Manny Pacquiao in his prime would have smoked Keith Thurman. And he beat him in their fight. Like, you know, he won a lot of fights where he wasn't stopping guys. You know, when he lost to Marquez in that fourth fight, he wanted to fight all these guys, but wasn't destroying them. You know, he was destroying Chris Algieri, but he wouldn't stop him. You know, Brandon Rios, all those guys. And then when he got to Keith Thurman years later, it was like he was still the quicker fighter. You know, he was still the more athletic fighter. And he made Keith Thurman, like, he beat him, but he didn't look like he wanted to destroy him. And Canelo seems like that senior guy, like, you know, I'm still in the game. I'm still respected. I'm still one of the greatest. But I'm just looking to get the bag and pick up these good wins against some of the younger guys. He's showing up to the basketball court like, yo, I can still run with you guys. Like, I'm Jordan on the Wizards. That's the way I look at Canelo right now, you know, and that's part of the reason why we didn't get the David Benavidez fight. And it could happen, but he's looking at these guys that's going over there to Saudi Arabia, and he's like, yo, I'll take these fights, but you guys got to pay me. I need the bag. And he's not going to just take it just to take it. That's the way I look at it with Canelo. So if he does take one of those fights, whether it's Bivol in the rematch, better be if David Benavidez, they're gonna have to pay that man. You know, if you guys are paying guys 2, 3, 4 times the amount they're used to getting paid, he's gonna want that. He's gonna want 100 million for a fight at least. So we'll see what happens from there. But Jaime Munguia, good showing, showed a lot of heart. Just couldn't get it, you know. And I think Canelo, in his best day, would stop Munguia, prime Canelo, or even Plant or Saunders Canelo would have stopped him. But you know, so much respect there. And I don't think he wanted really to. I don't think he really wanted to embarrass him. I think he just wanted the W. So what's next? I mean, for Canelo, whatever. I think Edgar Berlanga is probably gonna be the next opponent in September. Puerto Rican Mexican rivalry will be put in place for September. You know, and that's what I think. It's not much left because Morrell and Benavidez moved up. So Canelo's going to stick to guys that's on 168 or guys that's coming up from 160. It's either Berlanga or Jamal Charlo. One of those two. So that's the way I look at it. And for Jaime Munguia, yeah, Berlanga, Plant, and Billy. There's options there. Jamal Charlo. There's options. All right. It's a loss, but it's not a bad, embarrassing loss. He showed a lot of effort. You know, he did mimic some of the things that Bivol was doing early in the fight, but I think he just got too comfortable. He has a good jab. He has the tools, but he's just too anxious, man. He wants to fight. He wants to rumble. He doesn't really want to fight an intelligent fight. He doesn't really want to fight a defensive, responsible fight. He wants to go to war. And he got comfortable and he got clipped. So, plenty of opportunities there for him. It's not the worst loss in the world. You lost to Canelo Alvarez. Not a big deal. Without leaving with your half your face broken like Billy Joe. You know what I mean? He still got, he could still fight this year, maybe a couple times, you know? So, honorable loss. Canelo did his thing. He still looked like he's getting older. But if, you know, I would fight Berlanga. But I think at this point, you're not going to hear any more criticism from me. Like, I know where he's at now. I think I'm good with that. No hate. Like, I'm being honest with you guys. I'm good with where he's at. He's the guy that's on his way out. You know? And I think this level is the most you're going to get. I don't think you're going to get Benavidez. I don't think we're going to get Morrell. I don't think he's there right now to prove that he's pound for pound number one. I think he's there right now to make a little bit more change before he leaves the sport. And it might be, he might leave. It might not be an announcement until he's ready to go. But I see him being that older guy that's picking up some good wins on his way out. That's the way I look at it. All right, so let me know how you guys feel. Please subscribe to the channel. It's not much really to say about it. I mean, as far as the rest of the card, Stanionis had a tough fight. You know, it might have to do with just the opponent, or it might have to do with him just being inactive for 2 years. Mario Barrios too struggled a little bit. 147 is up for grabs for anyone, even at 140. You know, I mean, Jaron Ennis looks like it's him, and he's way better than everybody else to me. Terrence Crawford's not there. Spence is not there. Virgil Ortiz is not there. It's for the taking. So anyone outside of Boots that wants to challenge, you know, maybe guys from 140, it seems like 147 is there for the taking because Stanionis didn't look great tonight. Barrios didn't look great. You know, Santillan is still out there. All right, that's the guy to beat Alexis Rocha. We just gotta wait and see. All right, Villa is still out there. Royman and Villa, even though he lost the boots already, the way he dominated Rashidi Ellis in that second half of the fight, he's still a threat. All right. And Brandon Figueroa looked all right too. Him too. He got the stoppage. He did stop Jesse Magdaleno, but he didn't look all that great leading up to the stoppage. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Leave comments. Please subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button. Share the video. All that stuff. Hit me on Instagram, man. And, a lot of people has been sending me DMs on there now. I know I don't post a lot. I'm kind of boring on there. But hit me in the DMs, there or on Twitter. All right, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good night. Peace.